Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle, and today we're starting a brand new series called My Funky Chunky Journal. And in this series, I'm going to take you through how I make a journal from start to finish. So a couple of things that you'll need is a ruler, a metal one, a craft knife, a cutting mat. I have this pokey tool, some brightly colored thread and a thick needle, and for the base of my book I'm using a cardboard box. Now you can use cardboard sheets from like the back of a paper pad or cereal boxes. They all work perfectly fine, but I had this little box floating about, so I chose to use it. So first I'm taping down all of the little bits that are coming apart, and then just trimming off the edges. So the inspiration for this was actually from Shana from Shanuki Art. She makes beautiful journals all the time. Her journals are usually quite vintage looking and muted tones, which are lovely, of course, but I struggle with those kind of color tones. You know, I like all my bright colors and my neons. So I thought I would show you how I make a funky journal, and it's also going to be chunky. So my color inspiration for this journal it comes from Marlene's Packaging and that beautiful scrapbook paper that I've got there. And it's all pink, orange, yellow, a little bit of green and blue in there as well. And I thought that that would be perfect to start me off. And I'm going to try and keep those colors all throughout the journal. So first off, I found a piece of wrapping paper, which I've had for years. And I'm going to use that to cover this whole journal. I knew that the wrapping paper would buckle under wet glue. So I chose to put down some double-sided tape first, and I think I did add glue in the end as well anyway. Yes, I did. And I had a huge spill. So my glue was much thicker than I thought that I would have liked it. But anyway, I just went with it. So spreading it all out with it's a rubber silicone brush, and then I'm going to stick that onto the paper. I'm using my brayer to roll everything down, make sure everything's nice and smooth. And soon after I put this on, it started to buckle, but that's okay. I did actually leave this overnight to dry, just to make sure the paper is a little bit stronger before I started sewing in my pages. So I'm folding the flaps over and cutting out little grooves or little triangles where the folds will be. And then I'm just going to stick all of that down with my wet glue. So of course this journal is going to be heavily Art by Marlene inspired. You know that I love her products, her colors, the quirky nature of all of her elements and her artwork. So I will definitely be using that a lot in this journal, along with some of my other things. So when I grab out my papers, you'll see that it's obviously not all Art by Marlene papers. I've got all different papers. I've got book paper, and I don't think I have music paper, but usually I would do music paper and maps. I have a lot of Marlene's paper packaging. Let's just say packaging. Some of her stencil packaging has got all those beautiful colors that I was so drawn to make this journal. So those will all end up in this journal as pages. So how the series will work is, this is obviously the skeleton of the book. So I've made the cover and I'm going to sew in the signatures for the pages. And then I am going to make another video for how I add pockets and another video for decorating some of the pockets. So it's going to be a series of videos for you guys, and if you want to follow along, you can do that, because we'll take it little bits by little bits. So I'm measuring out the sizes of my paper. I'm not being very specific, and I'm also not throwing anything away. So all of the little bits that I'm cutting off, they will get saved in a box with this journal, and I will be using up as much of the scraps as possible. I'm not going to show you each and every page that I did, just kind of the measuring, the way that I measured it. Again, I'm eyeballing everything. I don't even know what the dimensions of this book is. So my pages, because they're all already different sizes and weights, widths and whatever, they are going to be, some are going to be taller, some are going to be shorter. They're not all going to be the same size pages. So what I've got here is some of Marlene's papers, some of her packaging. I had a scrapbook page. I've got some vellum, some map pages, beautiful old journal pages. I've got 2 bags. And I actually have some colored grease-proof paper, which I found in a recipe book. So once I've got all of my sheets torn to the right size, I've stacked them into the little signatures. So a signature is this pile of paper that's like one section of the book, but I obviously didn't show you all of that. It took ages. I just kind of went with what felt good. I tried to not put the same pages next to each other and have contrast on each page when you open it. And now I'm just drawing my lines in for where I'm going to make the holes. So I've got one center hole and then a couple of centimeters to the bottom and a couple of centimeters to the top, the same amount I'm putting on each of these lines. So I've got 4 signatures, so I did 4 lines, and then each of my 4 lines will need 3 holes for my signature to go in. I'm just going to use an ordinary pamphlet stitch. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there that can show you how to do this, and they can explain the process much better than I can. So please go look for somebody else, even though I'll do a quick little just talk through of how I do it. So I'm marking my middle of my book, and I'm marking all of the signatures in the center, and I'm just poking through the holes, because then I won't be struggling to get my thread through. Of course, the first one was a struggle because it was on camera, but then when I turned the camera off and I did the rest of them went so smoothly. So thanks, Murphy, for your law. So basically, you're going to go in through the middle, but I'm starting from the outside because I want my thread to be hanging outside the journal. And I've got about 3 times the length of my book. So in through the middle, out through the bottom when I can find the hole. Then I go in through the top, out through the bottom, I think, and in through the middle again, I think. I'm sorry. Okay, so it's middle, top, bottom, and middle. Yes, sorry. Middle, top, bottom, middle. And then when you go out by the middle again, you need to make sure that your threads, the loose ones, are on either side of the long one that's across there, so you can tie that off. But please find somebody else to teach you how to do that. It would be much easier for me to teach this in person than to try and do it on a very sped up voiceover. Okay, that's the start of our little journal. I hope that you will stick around for a lot more content and to see this coming together. I did add a little strip of paper there on the edge to just hide that cardboard underneath. And I think I also take you through where I folded the pages that were maybe too long. I folded them over, and those are all going to be pockets. So just to make the journal a little bit more interesting, or maybe that's in the next video. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm sticking it down with double-sided tape because that'll be a little more secure than glue. And then that's it. I hope to inspire you to make your own journal, and I hope you will be coming along with me on this journey of making this funky, chunky journal. I will be back again soon with the second video. Take care. Bye.